Hello. Yes, well, I'm here. Oh my God, they're all here. I think I'm just here just to say, it's fantastic to be back at the Cavern. I've come back because I've done a rock and roll album called Run Devil Run, and we're plugging it, plug. But basically, what better way to rock out the century? This is where it all began, and for me, this is where the century is going to end with me playing rock and roll, which, if you remember the Beatles, before the Beatles was a fabulous little rock and roll band. That was what held us together for so long and made us so good, I think, he said modestly. But I'm back here because I love Liverpool. No more fantastic place to rock out the century. Thank you very much for coming. God bless everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 137 of Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. We are a Paul McCartney talk show mainly dealing with the solo career of the one and only Paul McCartney. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Tom Hunyadi. You may know me from my other show, Talk More Talk, a solo Beatles videocast. And I'm joined by my friend and my partner, my backwards traveler, Andy Nichols. Andy, how you doing?
Good evening, sir, and fresh off our unboxing video.
Fresh off the unboxing video. So yeah, when this is posted on Saturday, if you guys haven't checked that out, please head over to our YouTube channel and check out the Uber George Harrison box set unboxing. Andy was fortunate to get his early, so we had a great time unboxing that sucker. And man, the thing's massive, isn't it?
That's great. So there it is.
Yep, there it is. It's a whopper, as you say.
It is. And any update on your shipment yet?
No, it probably won't ship until release day. I'm sure of that, and that's fine. I got to see yours, and I'm satisfied with that, and I'll listen to it when I get it as well.
So seeing everything in there now, you think you're happy?
You're justifying? I mean, it's exceeded expectations. Far exceeded. It's just the gnomes are massive, the crate is massive, just a lot bigger than what I was expecting.
You will thoroughly you will thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, the book alone.
The book alone looks wonderful. The lithograph or the drawing from Klaus looks excellent, and the presentations for the vinyl and the CDs. And
then just the music itself, the remix music is tremendous. Yep. It's really good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as you guys know, I mean, even though we do a Paul McCartney show, we love the other three. We collect the other three as well. So, I mean, it was really cool to be able to get an early glimpse of this set. So, Andy, I'm happy. I'm jealous. Don't get me wrong. But I'm happy for you.
Well, listen, when I told you that it was coming, you were like, okay, we got to figure out when to go live. I'm like, okay.
Exactly. And I think we were the first unboxing video. So
thank you to Joe Mayo and to
Mathew Street for helping
Mazzy to promote it as well. Thank you guys.
Yeah, excellent. Today's show, we're talking about this guy right here, live at the Cavern Club from 1999, or the set came out in 2001, I believe, but the show was in 1999.
Live broadcast live in '99.
Exactly, and we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. But first, we got a little show and tell, some news, because last week when we had Scott O'Rourke on the show talking about rockers, we got the news that we were going to get this big secret thing. We didn't know what it was, but we got this montage video of Paul dancing throughout other videos. And then we got these little snippets of this image of what looked like Paul, throughout that video. So, we didn't
all know set to temporary secretary. So it was like, what is this little, is it going to be a box set? What is it going to be?
Right. So then the following day, the Thursday, I believe it was, then it was released, and it ended up being the Find My Way video for the Three Imagined.
which my co-host has got, and he
we'll
show that in a
second.
Yeah,
that's the swirl. Yeah, that's the swirl one. So, but I mean, you saw it that when it came out. I saw it too that day. And what were your thoughts? What did you think?
It was creepy. It was creepy. I didn't like it.
Well, you didn't. What didn't you like though?
Well, first of all, I'm just not a fan of the whole project in general.
Okay.
So, and you guys know this. I'm not a fan of I think it's too much, too soon. We're still fresh off the heels 6 months, 7 months later, McCartney 3. Now we're getting this shoved down our neck again. So I was never into this whole Imagine project anyway.
Right.
The music aside, okay. And the vinyl that I've seen people got ordered, it looks beautiful. It's a nice addition. It's a nice pressing. And I like that it's got Paul's stamp on it, but the video itself, I don't, what is this deep scale, whatever, what is it?
Yeah, deep fake.
I just don't like it. Your cousin brought it out to our attention too, that, is this kind of like the way of the future now, where they're going to just do this?
It's a de-aging thing, and this is the same technology that was used for the Irishman film.
The Irishman. No, but that's different though. Like the Irishman, Joe Pesci was not made to look 60 years younger. Joe Pesci was made to look 20 years younger. This was like take 80-year-old Paul and make him look like he's 25. I didn't like it.
Fair enough. I mean, because when you're watching The Irishman, it is weird seeing that technology and seeing a 70, 80-year-old man. Now he's 30, 40, 50. So it does take a little getting used to. But the actual video itself, I didn't mind. I thought it was creative. It was fun. If you didn't like the actual song, then you're not gonna like the video then, because the song kind of. I kind of like the beat. I kind of like what Beck did to that particular song. I wish that Beck actually sang it rather than using, Paul's vocals.
Right.
I think I would have liked it better then. But I do like what Beck did to that song, and that's my favorite song on the McCartney 3 proper. So. But anyway. Yeah, Find My Way. So, I mean, it was fine. It was nice to see the Paul cameo right around the 43, 44 second mark. That was fine. And then you just see him going through all these, different hallways or whatever. And then it gets like a little funky dance scene or whatever. And then at the end, he pulls it off the mask and it's Beck, no big surprise. Hopefully everybody has saw it by now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, Paul likes this kind of technology stuff. I mean, obviously, Coming Up was a big, technology thing.
For its time.
For its time. Yeah, exactly.
And kudos to him. He's always wanted to stay ahead of the curve with that stuff, he's, with the technology, whether it was 1980 or 2021. So I give him credit for that, to wanting to stay, hey, this is a new style of video. Let me do it. And I give him total credit for that. It's just something I wasn't terribly into.
Fair. Absolutely fair. Now, speaking of McCartney 3 Imagine, so I did.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah. Okay. So I got the email the day before release day saying it was shipped. So the swirl at that point in time was the only one I bought. So I love this cover. And this was like the cover for the digital presentation.
That's right, the digital version of the album.
Yes, exactly. So really nice. So now getting into the vinyl, there are different splatter colors. So you got one that's kind of orange, blue, and green.
So double LP.
Yeah, it's a double LP.
Okay.
Because Deep Feeling is over 10 minutes long on the this
on
version.
That one.
Yeah, so they had to put it on a double LP.
Two
and
records.
Plus, you get a bonus of Long-Tailed Winter Bird from Idris. Hold a second, I just froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get this camera going again here. Sorry about that.
You're
folks. Fine. Come on. Technology at its greatest.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. But now this one is more purple and yellow. Okay. So same thing. So not bad. Not bad splatter. I'm happy with it. I think it sounds good. I heard a couple people may have had some issues on it, vinyl or sound wise.
Did you play it yet, Tom?
I played the first song, and because when I heard somebody had an issue with it, I wanted to play it and see what I heard. They had some surface noise or something like that. Mine was quiet, played nice. Now, now on Friday, on the actual release day, I did end up going to my local record store, and because I wanted to pick something else up, but then they had the this
Now,
is the
which
now
one
this is
is
a
that?
different cover. Now this is the indie gold. Now all the independent record stores, Mortem or whatever you want to call them, they got this copy. Now this is also the same cover for other multiple colors as well. Okay, but this is the one that was the indie gold. Yeah, I know. I hear you, but so
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
it's a nice,
vinyl. It's
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. So, again, happy with it. Played all of this because I did get it, Friday, and I was curious about the Longtail Winter Bird by Aegis Elba. Didn't care for it that much, but it's different. It's interesting. It's almost a completely different song. Really not a lot to do with McCartney's Longtail Winter Bird proper.
Right.
But it's different. It's different for sure. But yeah, and I got the CD, and then that's it. I'm done. I'm not getting any more.
Two vinyl editions of one CD.
Two. I mean, I was almost tempted to get the silver, the Target exclusive, but I'm like, no, that's it. I'm done. So that's the McCartney 3 Imagine.
I wish I had more enthusiasm for this project. I hear you. And I don't know if any people else out there feel that same way. I can't get into it.
Maybe while you're out here and we're all driving to record stores, play it and see what
maybe.
We'll take that for some of our traveling music or whatnot.
Fine.
Yeah. But you also got something a while ago as well that I want you to.
Yeah, this is the first of these, and this is a McCartney fan magazine called Magazine. And it's been around forever, good 10 years at least. And I finally bought the first issue. And this is published in the Netherlands. And it's been one of those ones that, you see it advertised in these Beatle fan sites and stuff. And it's like, should I get it? And I said, you know what? I'm going to just go on their website. They've got a great Facebook page, very transparent, very thorough. They're very upfront about what they produce. I mean, I forget the gentleman's name who publishes it, but I got to tell you, it was $24 shipped to the United States, including shipping. And it is 164 pages, full color. Okay. Just on the Red Rose Speedway era of Wings. I mean, so it's right here, timeline, September of 72 to May of 73. These folks here at this, I mean, they just do a fantastic job. Photos I've never seen before. Okay.
Right.
All included here. I mean, labels. I mean, they've got periodicals printed from, reviews of the music that came out at the time, the singles. Okay, like Hi and stuff like that.
Excellent. Okay.
So there's all contemporary articles, reviews, interviews that are transcribed, and session notes and acetates, and I mean anything that made headlines during this period. They cover it here. I mean, it's an incredible publication, and they've got back issues available going back from 2005 all the way to now.
What issue number is that?
So this is Magazine, volume 49, issue 1.
Issue 1, okay.
Issue 1, and it's and they've done. I mean, they've got back issues available.
Okay.
So their website is.
Do you know?
It doesn't say. I mean, here's the back issues right here that are available. Here's the back issues.
Oh, great.
If you're interested,
Okay,
blah blah
cool.
blah.
Yeah.
You can,
cool.
and they list them all. So he's got for instance, he's got like a 2-parter on New from 2015, 2 books on New. They've got ones on London Town, Venus and Mars, Chaos, Tug of War. So, I mean, if you're just judging by this, I mean, so it's the Paul McCartney fan club out of the Netherlands. Their website is McCartneyMagazine.com. They've got a Facebook, they've got a Twitter, all listed right here. So it's just very well done. I highly recommend it. They've got all, I mean, it's full color, glossy. This is not some cheapy Charlie. This is very, very well done. And I would recommend anybody, you Maca diehards out there, to pick this up. And I'm sure, Tom, you will at some point as well.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I've known about that magazine for some
Oh,
time.
forever. Yeah.
I haven't pulled the plug on it yet, but now with your recommendation, I'll definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we've got
Definitely start
photos. We've
checking
got
those out.
photos of
Yeah,
8-track,
look at that. That's great. Cassette, 8-tracks.
cassettes,
Yeah.
different countries, different pressings, and stuff like that. So it's incredibly thorough for such a short time frame in the band's history, right? About a year,
Right.
year and a half, and we've got a full book on this one period of the band's history, which I think is incredible. If it's any indication, these other back issues are going to be tremendous.
Right.
And I'm going to order probably a good 4 or 5 more, if as many as I can.
Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so kudos to the publication, to the publishers of the magazine. And again, they've been around forever. And I was a little late to this as well, but boy, am I glad I finally got this one.
Excellent. Cool. All right. So if you guys have gotten back issues, let us know in the comment section here. If you're watching us on YouTube, tell us what you think of the magazine, and we'll be sure to check out some back issues of that. So great, and glad you got a copy.
You'll enjoy it. You'll definitely enjoy it.
Absolutely. So as you can see behind Andy there, he's got the Run Double Run LP, which did you get that on the release day for that?
Shortly after there, yeah, on release day. Made in the UK, nice custom sleeves here on the inside. Tom behind him, he's got the nice 7-inch box.
Yep, the box set right there, right there.
Well, I'll drop it, but yeah. The old scarce, hard to come by late 90s vinyl.
Yeah, that's awesome. Parlophone.
Yeah.
I love that label. I love the pink. The purple. Yeah,
the purple retro label.
Yeah, excellent.
Beautiful record. Probably was about $20 or $30 back then when I got it. Probably close to 30, because again, this was not made in the it's not made in the US, UK only.
Mm-hmm.
It was only made in the UK. Got the sticker on there, but ties into what we're talking about again. Chris Thomas co-produced.
Yeah, co-producer. Yes, that's right.
I'll work on him.
Right. So like I said earlier in the show, we're going to be talking about the live at the Cavern Club. We've been having a good time going back and rediscovering the DVD, Blu-ray sets.
Concert
started,
films,
the concert films. Right before you joined us, David and I, we did one on the Love You Make Blu-ray video, which obviously chronicles the concert for New York. Sure. And that was a lot of fun. So this was definitely something I wanted to continue. And obviously you were very enthusiastic about most of these sets. Anyways, there's some clunkers out there, but you know what, this was definitely one of the better ones. So what do you remember about this at
well, let me ask you real quick before I answer that. Is that a DVD you've had in your collection for decades,
this
was 20 years, or
2001 when it first
so you
came
bought
out.
that? You bought it when it first came out. Okay,
bought it when it first came out. Watched it when it first came out, and sorry to say, it's been probably 19 years or so since I've watched it.
But sorry, as you reminded,
really cool. Yeah, go ahead.
As you reminded me today, I was thinking I hadn't seen it. First of all, I couldn't find my DVD, folks, because Tom, when we reached out about doing this topic, he's like, I said, sure. I said, I'll go to my DVD tower in the living room and I'll scan the titles and I'll find it. Well, didn't find it. So somewhere over the years, I loaned it or I lost it, and I didn't have it. But luckily, I found it on YouTube and was able to watch it again. But I did watch this live at the time on DirecTV in December of '99.
Okay, so how do you remember it being promoted?
It was promoted very well on McCartney's site. This was also broadcast online too.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
On McCartney's website. I mean, we're talking 1999, so that's early video feed of internet. So it probably was probably very choppy. It was not probably very good.
A lot of buffering.
A lot of buffering, and it was all. If you're old enough to remember Real Player, I think it was streamed through Real Player. If you're old enough to remember that media player, which I'm dating myself here, but it was on that, and it was very choppy. But I seem to remember. Now I didn't have DirecTV. A buddy of mine had it. And I remember saying, "Can I come over to your house to tape this thing that's on DirecTV?" And I actually recorded it on a VHS.
Oh, very cool.
live at the time, which. I remember it being promoted very well because it was I think I was 18 or 19 then, saying, it's going to be on at this and such a time, and I've got to see it, and it's going to be Paul McCartney live at the Cavern, which he had not been back to at all.
Since '63, I think was the last time.
Well, no, he visited it. There's a nice photo of him and Linda. Oh, playing wise, of course, 63. But it was a nice introduction to me to seeing him back there. And then, of course, I learned years later when I went there how big this event was. And I have some friends of mine that I made that were at that show that watched it, friends that could have went to it. So it was to go there and see it. It was to see, that's the stage where he played,
Right. So talk about that. I mean, talk about going down. I mean, because it's not actually the real Cavern.
It's not. Well, first of all, it's not the original Cavern, right? As we all know, the original Cavern, if you're in Liverpool and you're on Mathew Street, what is now the Cavern is about 200 feet to your right where you'd go in. The original Cavern in the 60s was about another 200 feet down the road to the right, which is now gone. In the 70s, the town council decided to put an underground train line in, which never went in. So there's been a little bit of a love-hate with the Fab Four and the town and the city council over the years, which they have kind of gotten over. But back then, the 70s and 80s, the mood towards the Beatles was decidedly not a good one in the city of Liverpool. They were like, oh, they left us, they're not good, blah, blah, blah. So they rebuilt the Cavern. So when you go to the Cavern now, you go down the steps and you see the main classic stage of the replica, the shell.
Right.
You see that. Okay. This concert that Tom and I are reviewing today happened on the Cavern main stage, which is to the right. So if you go down to the Cavern, you've got the classic replica Cavern with that's been replicated, which is and there is live music there. There's live musicians that play there every day, and that's in the front because you've got the bar and you've got tables, and that's where the main people go. But when a big artist comes to Liverpool to play in Liverpool, they go to this stage, which is to the right of this area. And you go down the hall, you go down the hallway, and it opens up into a big, big room. And that's where this concert was held back in '99. So when you're watching and you're like, wait a minute, is that the Cavern or is that some other room? And it is the Cavern, but it's the bigger area, and that's the Cavern. Obviously, I'm going to give a quick shout out to the guys that own that, and that's Dave Jones and Bill Heckel that own the Cavern, and they're great guys. They are the number one people for tourism and Beatles related tourism in Liverpool. A quick shout out to Neil Brannon, who also was instrumental in that event also and was there that night. And he works there as well, and we wanted to try to get him on for this show because they were there. Part of it, organizing it, working with MPL, but our schedules couldn't work out. So Neil, I'll send this to you when we're done. But there's so much history. Even now, 20 years later with this show, it's still widely regarded as, hey, that's when Macca came back. He came back and played here. So it's a proud moment for those Scousers, and to talk to them about it, and to some people that were at this show. Incredible.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay, so just a little backstory. Okay, so this was recorded December 14th, 1999, just 2 months after the release of Run Double Run. So it was put together fairly quickly. I would imagine, probably set up prior to the album coming out as well, because these things take time, to come up, So the band, you got Macca, you got Gilmour, you got Mick Green, Ian Paice, Pete Wingfield, and then you got Chris Call, who comes on and plays a accordion.
Yeah.
And which was pretty cool. Good set. But then this set doesn't come out until June 19th of 2001 on
of a home video release. So you either saw it live in '99 on DirecTV,
right,
or that was it until you taped it on DirecTV, or you had to wait for this home video release, which came out in 2000 or 2001. I say it looks like 2000 it came out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw 2000, I saw 2001. Now, there's an interview on the special features of Paul where he's got that 2001 really short hair for Driving Rain. So that's why I'm thinking,
more like 2001.
2001, because again, that's that image of him with that short hair is still very it's like almost too short.
It's too short.
Yeah, exactly. 2001.
And let's also remember the technology too. Early 2000s, VHS is still a format. DVD DVD is a very new media at that time. So, it was at that weird time where I remember seeing this on VHS in stores. It was it finally did come out in 2001. But I remember by 2001 thinking though, well, that was 2 years ago, and I taped it, so like I don't, who needs to buy it, kind of thing,
Right. So the DVD. I mean, we'll get to the concert in a minute, but let's just talk about we'll talk about the bonus.
Yeah,
features
please do.
So you got the 2 music videos. You got brown-eyed handsome man, and then you got No Other Baby.
Okay.
Which are I think both of them are on the McCartney Years DVD set.
Yeah.
So, but this is the first place you would have saw them on
as a video
to watch them on there. Yeah, right. Because I don't recall seeing these on MTV. They probably were. You probably would have saw them in the UK probably more than over here. Because again, you said the vinyl was released in the UK only, right? So maybe, and I know that set was only released in the UK as well. The Run Devil Run 45 set.
The 7, right.
Yeah, the 7-inch. So, but then you've got a 22-minute interview conducted by Jules Holland, which is fun to see those two interact. Sometimes because I think Jules did some of the interviewing. For the Ideology as well.
I was going to say to tie. They went back to Jules again because Jules was one of the main interviewers for the Beatles anthology. Right.
Right. So, that's fine. I mean, they know each other. They've got chemistry, and that's fine. It worked out well. There were some nice little stories that Paul tells. For every release, Paul has the main stories that he goes to, that he repeats, throughout all the promotional interviews and stuff like that, So there's a nice little story, about him, ringing up George, that he's back in Liverpool. That's nice. He talks about the home. Sometimes he would just he would drive there and just sit there in the car looking at it and just remembering things like that. So, and I think which are stories that he's told before as well. And then he talks about all the songs. Jules would just go, list the tracks, and then Paul would talk about the first time that he heard those songs. So that's just a quick little interview. Then there's another interview as well with Paul doing with a female interviewer, and we get these stories from Paul that sometimes are not 100% accurate. We got this during Memory Almost Full. He talked about how, that medley was the first medley he did since Abbey Road, right? Okay, well, this story, he tells where he'd been wanting to do a rock and roll album for like last 20 years, completely forgetting the Russian album, which is, we talked about with Ghosty. I mean, it's not a terrible record. Yeah, I mean, production-wise, it might suffer, but there's still good tracks on that. So I don't understand why he would want to forget just because maybe it wasn't received well or what.
He has that penchant for just kind of erasing things from his past.
Right, exactly.
If it doesn't suit his current narrative, he's just going to just 86 it, and that's unfortunate because that was a good project. Again, we talked about it with Ghosty, and he's done covers albums before. Now, obviously, this one has a little more balls to it. It's produced better. Exactly. It's a great. It's got the entire record. And this live concert, I mean, the music, the material is just cooking all of it. He assembles a great band for it. So it's
absolutely.
So he's very okay. This is what I'm doing now, and then this is whatever. Even though I might have done a similar project, I don't really care to acknowledge it.
Right. Exactly. So why, so then again, so those are just one of the cringe moments that you hear from Paul from time to time while he's doing these promotional interviews. But then, you got the band biographies that are just all literature. And then you got a Cavern Club biography, which again is literature, rather than producing a live bio of old footage or whatnot. But that's fine. So all together, I mean, it is a nice package with nice bonus features. Again, the videos, the 2 music videos, and the 2 interviews. So I mean,
I think
getting some extra stuff.
So look at that. Even just for the videos included as a bonus, that makes
Right.
that DVD a worthwhile purchase.
Or the
just
DVD, exactly.
Just for the videos that you're getting,
Right,
because
right.
where else before the McCartney years were you going to get
Right.
those? Nowhere.
Right. And if you like this set, I mean, if you like that project, I mean, it's definitely worth having this as a companion piece, video wise.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the show, then let's talk about the show itself,
Sure.
because that is the creme de la creme of this set. So the stage, you said it's not a very big stage, right?
No, it's a big room, but it's a small stage.
Okay.
So the room can probably fit maybe 200 people.
Because it says 300 people on set, 300 people packed.
That's probably very true. I'm probably for that. There probably was 300 plus.
Right.
Everybody and their mother was trying to beat their.
Oh,
to go to that, but I even know people. My professor, for my master's program, could have went to that, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not going to go. I'm good.
Man.
I'm good. I don't need to go." Remember asking him? I was like,
say that.
I remember asking. I said, Dr. Brocken, did you go to this? He goes, Andy, I could have went. Didn't really want to. I'm like, what? How did you not go to this, man? It was one of the first things I found out, like learning about Liverpool and the Cavern. I'm like, did you go to this? Because he was my professor was also a part-time DJ on BBC Radio Merseyside, where he still has a show on. So through his connections in the radio industry, he was able to go to the show at the Cavern, and he was like, "Man, I'm good." I'm like, I said, "What are you nuts?" So, but they packed him in, and I mean, again, I've seen plenty of tribute bands, and I mean, even Adele. I even saw Adele play there
Oh, no
before.
kidding. Oh,
I didn't even know who she was. I didn't even know who she was in 2010. I think it was when she first came out with that first big album of hers. And I remember being there because I used to go to the Cavern just about, I don't know, every other night and hang out with my friends. And I said, this is this blonde chick, Adele. I'm like, okay, here I am, some Beatle geek. I don't care about Adele. I don't care about anything. And I'm just sitting there listening. But the room is very, very tight. But I mean, I could just imagine for this concert, I mean, people probably sweating. It probably really did feel like the old Cavern, And
right.
They're all you look at the setup. The Ian Paice, the great drummer from Deep Purple's in the back. I mean, they're all sandwiched in there on the little stage.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're getting five people on there for the most part, and then you're adding a sixth with the accordion during at one point. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a very tight image when you're watching it.
It really is. It really is, and it kind of it tries to mimic the traditional Cavern front stage, which is where it's really just that kind of old wine cellar with the pitched bricks and everything else like that. Right. So it to walk in there and then you see like, oh, here's where Paul played in December of 1999, and you're like, oh wow, this is crazy. You see, because now even that concert is like, here we are 20 years later, it's memorialized. Everybody remembers it. And not a long show. He only gave you 45 minutes.
Give you 45 minutes, right?
Cooking from start to finish.
Oh, this band, you can tell that they'd worked together for a while. I mean, how long it took to record Run Devil Run, and then obviously you doing some sound checks for this show as well. I mean, they're professionals through and through on this.
And I tell you what, it really represents a really rare period in Paul's career because it's after Linda and it's before he gets his new Rusty and Abe and all the guys he's been with for 20 years. For one album he assembles this kind of like really all-star lineup: David Gilmour, Ian Paice, Mick Green, Pete Wingfield, to do a rock and roll album. And like you're thinking, okay, these guys gonna go back Paul now. Gilmour, as we know, has been on many a McCartney record. Okay, so he's got a license. He's got a nice long association with Paul, going back to Wings,
73 with Dark Side.
With Dark Side, No More Lonely Nights, and then the Flowers in the Dirt, and then we got married, and then I Love This House, and then even still, you've got he right around this time, he actually also guested with Paul on Parkinson's, doing a little solo for Your Loving Flame.
Exactly.
So very weird time. Gilmour's around Paul a lot. This album, the promotion, the live show, he brings him in again, and then this project is done. shelved, and then he moves on and gets a new band and meets Heather, and everything changes. So I don't even think Heather just kind of came onto the scene at this point too.
On the scene, right? I was really surprised by the addition of Gilmour for this this whole album and DVD package, because
right.
I really didn't really think he was a fan of that era of music, but if he was, then great. And I don't know why I'm echoing, but anyways,
Not on my end, brother.
To see him do these songs with Paul is really cool. I just love him work. I think they work together so well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would have thought that at some point maybe Gilmour would have been on like his guitarist for a whole album, but that never really ever happened. It was just occasional track here and occasional track there. But it is nice to see. And I guess, listen, if Paul calls and says, "Hey, look, man, I want to do a dozen."
Oh, you run.
I want to go do it. I want to go. Yeah. I want to go do. I want to go do a dozen oddball 50 songs that were B-sides and not really hits. You want to go do it? Yeah, sure, go do it.
Right.
And I got to say, I mean, all these songs. I mean, when I got the album, I think I knew 25 the Rock, obviously, and I knew All Shook Up, and that was it. Some of all these other songs I had never heard. I don't know about you.
Really? Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, All Shook Up. Blue Jean Bop has been one of my favorite songs for a long time. I love that song. And obviously, he includes a couple new tracks, which none of them are Run Devil Run, which I was kind of surprised by that. You get the other two new tracks, Try Not to Cry and What It Is. That was kind of a shocker right there that he didn't include that song.
In the live set?
In the live set, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you got a McCartney original with "Try Not to Cry," which was cool.
Well, yeah, and what it is too, I think was an original, wasn't it?
And also what it is too. Which actually that sounds more like a '50s song.
Yeah, true. So, and then you got the surprise with "I Saw Her Standing There."
Right, which is, he says in the car, he goes, "Oh, we got a song that's not from the '90s, not from the '50s, but somewhere in between."
Yeah, so let's talk about the actual show. So they come on, they open up with "Honey Hush," which it's a song I vaguely remember, but then also they did that during January '69, didn't they? I think during the Get Back sessions they fooled around with that song. So it was cool. It was cool to see Paul do that. It's a hi ho silver bit. Hi silver. Yeah. But then I was really happy that they had a Blue Jean Bop. The banter in between songs was fun. As always, he's very engaging with the crowd. The crowd seemed very energetic throughout the whole 45 minutes. How can he not be, especially in that such a small setting? It's pretty amazing. So
go ahead.
You seeing this back in '99? What was your thoughts seeing it then?
I was like, okay, I don't know a lot of these songs, but it's a live McCartney concert. Now you gotta remember, these appearances were so sporadic with Paul and TV, and how you didn't know if you were going to see it. I mean, go back to Flaming Pie with a town hall interview. These were big early internet, so it's like a live McCartney concert. Like I'm gonna go watch it wherever I can go see it. I don't really know the material he's doing. Now the album was already out though by December. I think the album came out in September or October of '99.
October '99.
That's right. So the album had already been out. I had bought it. I had listened to it. I liked it. So I knew what it was going to be. But just watching it, I'm like, I was impressed. Even then, I knew Gilmour. I didn't really know the other guys at that time. But I was like, I was all in for it. I'm like, okay, he's going with a new, fresh sound. This record has so much energy to it. The production is off the charts good. I mean, let's go see how they do. And I mean, I was into it from start to finish. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Excellent. And then obviously then you picked it up on DVD probably
at some point. At some point, and it's one of the few that have just gone through the mists of time, as Paul says, and somewhere. I loaned it to somebody, but that was the other cool thing. But just like not knowing these songs, but learning them through Paul doing, which is how so many Beatle fans probably learned the cover songs, because they didn't know the originals. They knew the Beatles doing it. So it's the same thing. Like to me, like I don't think I've ever even heard the original No Other Baby, but Paul's version, it's now, and that was just an old B-side they used to do. And it's an incredible song. It's all the fabulous, which you only got if you got the single.
That's right. If you got the box set, and then obviously the single, the CD single, and I think so. But there's a really cool, funny moment in there, and I think it was like he was talking about uh, try not to cry. I think it was just about there, and he was talking, and then somebody in the crowd yelled "satisfaction," and then and then he goes like, read my lips, and he goes.
Yeah.
To find out in the interview with Jules Holland, I believe it was, he found out that it was a family member that yelled out
Well,
satisfaction.
I am
Yeah.
sure out of 300 people, 100 of them had to be family, because his family. He's got cousins and all over the place. So I'm sure half that crowd was mostly family.
Family members, right.
It had to be. And I know that at one point during the show, he yells out, "Hey, Wags, how you doing?" And I didn't know what he meant at the time. I found out when I lived over there, that means wives and girlfriends. I didn't know that.
Right.
I said, "Hey, Wags." He says that to the crowd in the middle of the concert.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite moments on the song-wise here on the DVD?
So song-wise, for sure, Lonesome Town is tremendous. Try Not to Cry, and hearing him talk about it being a McCartney original, which he says in the show. He goes, "Hey, this is one I wrote," that because it's that's a song that's kind of has flown under the radar. It's a McCartney original he snuck on there. Yeah, What It Is, great, fabulous. And honestly, I think my favorite one might be Party at the end. I love how they close. Party is just awesome. I mean, it's so quick that it goes so fast that it's over before you know it.
Oh, well,
it really
same
is.
with most of these songs, so quick, for me, like, All Shook Up was great, fabulous, big fan of Brown Eyed Handsome Man, Blue Jean Bop, as I said, is one of my favorite songs from that era, and obviously Honey Hush. So, but the fun part is just watching this band that, hadn't really had a lot of experience playing with each other.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously, he used Mick Green on the Russian album, did he not? I mean, I think he's on that one. So obviously he had a little experience working with Paul. We know Gilmour had some experience, but
the Deep Purple, the Deep Purple drummer never had it. Now that could have been, we don't know, that could have been through Gilmour. Gilmour could have said, "Well, this guy's not doing anything," and then Paul said, "Okay, bring him up." Let him in and do it. And
because we know there was a little turmoil during the recording, because then they bring in Dave Maddox, for whatever reason, to to help do a few tracks on there as well, because I think it was recorded in 2 different sessions. So, but that's for another show. But
I mean, of course, he goes before 20 Flight Rock. He tells everybody, "This is why I got into the Beatles, because I knew the words." So another one of those fabled stories that we've heard over and over and over.
Seeing him do that, I mean, I can see him do this over and over again. I mean, obviously he did it for Unplugged as well. So he does that song whenever he gets an opportunity,
and that's and he plays it great. He always does. 20. I mean, I can listen to 20 Flight Rock on Tripping Low Life. Fantastic.
Right.
It's incredible.
This is still a great sounding Paul that can command an audience. I mean, he just vocally, he just kills every track on this.
Well, listen, was that the beginning of Shake a Hand where he screams? Is that the Just Leave It to Me, Baby? Yeah.
Right.
Listen to that. Listen to the beginning of Shake a Hand. I mean, 1999, we're talking about Paul is probably about 21 years ago. Paul's 61, 2.
Yeah, I was just still amazed with how great he sounds on this set. It's excellent. You know what I mean? So
the one thing that it would have been nice if we got a live album release of this show, not just the video.
Just absolutely. I mean,
that would have been cool.
That would have been nice for this. You put the live CD in with the DVD.
I mean, because you think about a lot of his releases, bar a few, have gotten that. Like Good Evening New York City, you got video and audio.
Right.
Tripping, you got Get Back and Tripping. Off the Ground, you got Paul is Live, and so you've gotten stuff with it, but other times, but it would have been just for how one-off this project was, and the people involved with it, it would have been cool if you got a live, because I mean, it was a one-off show, and it was at the Cavern. That would, you wouldn't tell me you couldn't market that. I mean, we put it in with that and bundle it up, or make it its own CD. Come on.
Yeah. No, perfect. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely recommend this set for Paul fans. But if you're like I said, if you're a fan of the Run Devil Run CD, then find that you can still find the Live at the Cavern. You probably still find it on eBay
It's on. Watch it on YouTube like I did today.
Exactly. Watch it on YouTube. But if you're, a physical media fan, you
Yeah.
know, you can find it. You can still probably find used bookstores or used record stores.
You might find it for $5 in a used bin or something. You know?
Exactly.
I think for the looking at it in contextually, it's looking at it for it being such a one-off project album and this live show, it's worth owning because this was not a reoccurring thing. It was a one-off thing. It was a one-off album and a one-off live show. So on those grounds alone, for a 50+ year solo career, it's worth looking into.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, if you ever got like a Run Devil Run archive box set, you better be damn sure we better get the Live at the Cavern Club as the DVD on the DVD. So.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about the album too, but I kind of think you have to because they're so closely associated. The live show, and listen, the live show is not long; it's 45 minutes, and it's great from start to finish.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do like the fact though that in the live show he threw Try Not to Cry in and What It Is, but even on the album you got 3 proper McCartney songs, originals on there.
Right. Exactly. So great presentation. Great layout. The menu is fine. The DVD, the special features are really good and informative, especially around that time. One looks like it was right around the 99 period, and then there's the other one that looks like it was around the 2001 period, 2001 period. So obviously, it looks like he went back and did another bonus feature for the DVD release. You will see Paul in two different haircuts.
Looks right now. Obviously no Blu-ray release of this.
No, it's never been upgraded to Bluray.
It hasn't. So
no, and hopefully.
And we should also go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that would be great if you did go back and upgrade some of these DVD releases to Blu-ray, because especially if they're recorded on film, I mean, it would be great just to get a transfer on a high def, Blu-ray.
Right. And also, I should have mentioned this at the top. This film, of course, was directed by Jeff Wanfor, who's done he's long association with Paul.
Yep. So actually, I just followed him on Twitter. Hopefully he's still around.
Oh, good. You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Hit up the DM. Let's go.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it represents such a small period in time of Paul's career, but fresh off after Linda passing and jumping into a project with both feet and just rocking out and having a good time. And it was I think that's why myself and a lot of other people were like, okay, Paul, a lot has gone on. Flaming Pie, Linda passes away. He's doing a live concert. Like, this is pretty special. That's how I remember that.
Right, and that's one of the stories he talks about in one of the interviews where he's talking about how he didn't sing or perform for a year after Linda's passing, so he was unsure of himself whether he could sing these songs or even play these songs on bass, because he hadn't done anything for a year. But then he goes, but the other guys haven't played these songs either, so it would be kind of like
learning together.
Learning together, exactly. Right.
When I was watching the concert again today, I was trying to look at the bass and see if it was his original Hofner bass or was it the replica. But I think it was the replica because I didn't see the taped set list.
Right, the tape set list, yes.
Because I didn't know if that was still early on the point where he was still, because I know that when he busted that back out in '89, he was using the original one. But I think by this point he had the replica made. But I was just trying to see if maybe he used the old one still.
And probably for best. You never know when that thing's just gonna fall apart.
Don't use the Rickenbacker by all means. Don't use the Rickenbacker. Freaking Paul, play the Rickenbacker.
He's getting older. That thing's heavy.
I know that the Rickenbacker must be so heavy too, compared to that, because the Hofner's light. He can play that Rickenbacker. 35-year-old Paul in Wings. He could handle that Rickenbacker no problem. Now, it's older, 60. I'm gonna go use the lightweight thing.
Right. Yeah,
but it's a great concert film. It's quick. If you don't know the music and you haven't seen this concert film, it's worth watching because it doesn't take a lot of your time up, and you get to see Paul in Liverpool play. And again, he wouldn't have played the Cavern again until 2018, almost 20 years later.
That's right. It's for the Egypt Station promotion.
Correct. So, it's worth it just for that. Just he played the Cavern again just a couple of years ago. So, on that same stage. So definitely check it out. I mean, every song is awesome, and you may not know these songs, but I didn't know most of them, and now to me that these are Paul covers, and they rock.
Exactly.
And on a video too.
Exactly. Yep. Awesome. Great. All right. That's our look at the DVD of Live at the Cavern. Definitely recommend that set. A lot of fun, a lot of energy, and a good time. And it, I can see myself, not taking another 20 years to watch this. You know what I mean? I can see myself going back and watching it sooner rather than later again, because you just forget how good this show is.
And it is. And kudos to you, Tom, for coming up with these topics to revisit these things, because they give us purpose to go, hey, let's go pull that DVD that's been on the shelf.
Let's get the dust off the top there.
Yeah. Oh, let's go pop that thing in. Okay. And I like that because it gives it gives you a reason to go look at it again.
Exactly. Look at it for older eyes, or whatnot, and then just
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Great. So okay, yeah. So Andy, anything you want to add before we sign off?
No, I think we're good. Well, our subs have gone sky high since the Harrison unboxing. So thank you for that. Thank you very much. We want to eventually get to 1,000. We know we're way away from that, but thank you everybody who's checked out our page, and we try to keep really consistent. Listen, we're very passionate about Paul. Tom and I talk all the time, coming up with concepts, ideas, ways to keep the show vibrant and live. And we did ranking the tracks, and we do live stuff, and we really try to kind of keep everything fresh. And for somebody who's so well known but has such an incredible discography, kudos to Tom for coming up with ways to keep the show going and coming up with topics. So it's and that's all part of YouTube, and you guys are out there watching that. So thank you.
Yeah, and if you are new, please go back and check out some of the old episodes. We really appreciate hearing your thoughts on those if you're new to the show. Like Andy said, we spent all of those months ranking the tracks, and we'd love to see your rankings on those albums as well. And and let us know your thoughts. We love to continue that conversation, and it's been a lot of fun. So the YouTube channel is growing. We're really happy about that. And this right now, what is it, July? This has been so far our best month ever throughout the show, audio wise and video wise. So again, I can't stress enough how much we really appreciate all the newcomers and all the oldies that have been sticking with us all these years. We really appreciate you guys being here. I just can't stress that enough. But yeah, so you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Two Legs Podcast. Again, that YouTube channel is Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. Please check it out and subscribe. I think you'll like it. twolegspodcast.com for our website. You can get all the videos there, and all of our Twitter feed and stuff like that there. So check that out if you want to. Andy, hopefully you'll be back soon with your Anything But the Beatles show with our friend Ethan Alexanian. Looking forward to that coming back. And and that's about it. So Andy, good seeing you again.
Talk to you soon, my brother.
Yeah, and it's been fun as well. As always, it's good seeing you and catching up with you. And a couple more weeks, you'll be out here, and we're just gonna have a great time with Ethan and do a ton of record shopping.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All these Phoenix record stores. I'm gonna get ready.
It's gonna be epic. It's going to be epic. But anyways, everybody out there, thank you again. And as always, have a great day and a beautiful night. Take care.